Hello, I'm Janette Burke, online media personality, TV show, podcast host of Janette's TV podcast, correspondent, red carpet host, MC speaker, and chef Janette. Welcome back to another Cooking with Janette segment. Today we're doing something very different. We're going to be baking a cake from this mix, but we're not going to do it exactly the way the mix says. I'm going to make it much better. I'm going to hack it up, I'm going to doctor it up, and it's going to taste a lot more like a homemade cake. Now, I just want to say off the bat that I am not a baker. I'm a very good cook, but I've never been the greatest baker, and I've always been compared to other women in my family who can bake very well from scratch. But I decided nonetheless that I was going to give this a shot. So this is perfect for the holiday season, whether you're doing a dinner party, a buffet, or just you get that call, somebody's in town, could be your long lost cousin, could be your friend, whatever, and you want to have something in the house to serve, some type of a cake. So we're going to do this and we're going to make it taste great. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. That's if you're using, in accordance with the instructions on the box, if you're using a aluminum or glass pan, this is the 8-inch round, you'll have to heat it to 350. If you're using a rectangular pan, that's different. You only do 325. You could also make these like cupcakes in a cupcake pan, just to let you know. So after that, I'm doing the layer cake today, and I want you to stick around because after the cake, we're going to do part 2, which is icing of the cake. So I took my pan for baking, and all this is really just regular pan with flour in it. So if you don't have this, you can use your regular pan if you have that, and then just throw a little bit of flour in on top. So I've done both. They're ready to go, okay? I also took out my cooling racks. So after the cake is baked, it's going to go right to the cooling racks, and I'm going to leave it chill overnight before I actually ice it tomorrow, okay? Because it's going to make it better. So we're ready to get going, and this is not exactly what the box says. I'm doctoring it up. I'm using hacks. I want it to taste as homemade as possible. We need to start with dumping this container into the box. My baking pan, bowl rather. I have a nice big bowl to bake in. Where did I get this? Because I don't really bake. It's actually from my mom, but it was from my grandmother's. So you can see this is a big ceramic bowl. Nice big bowl. So we poured the contents in. Great. Now we're going to start doing the next steps, which is, I gotta put the glasses on, guys. I can't see without my glasses, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna take, it says add water, 1/3 of a cup of water or milk, okay? I have chosen to use 1/3 of a cup coconut milk because I'm not gonna actually put coconut in, but I'm going to use shaved coconut to decorate with my walnuts when the cake's ready. So I'm putting in 1/3 of a cup of coconut milk. You can use any kind of milk you want. It could be regular milk, could be whole milk. You could even use cream if you really wanted to. So I'm using coconut milk today, 1/3 of a cup. And I'm just getting it all out because I put it into this container. I measured it out of the can. Okay, we got 1/3 of a cup. Now it says you should add 1/3 of a cup, 1 cup of water or milk. So I did a 1/2 cup of that coconut milk. I'm going to actually add in a little bit of orange juice, unsweetened, for my liquid instead. And I'm going to add less than 1/3 of a cup of oil. So there, that's our liquids in. Okay, next it says, and add in the eggs. Okay, so we are gonna follow from the recipe from the box, which is the eggs. I'm using 3 eggs. You could actually use 4 if you really wanted to, but because I'm using the coconut milk, which is thick and creamy, I don't think I'm going to need four eggs. I'm going to stick with the 3. So I'm just putting in 3 eggs now. Okay, and then it says beat vigorously with the mixer. Okay, I don't have an electric mixer here. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way with my hands. But before I get there, I'm going to add in some walnuts. Okay, you could also add raisins if you like. I'm doing about 1/3 of a cup. If you add too much, it'll get dry. The cake will get dry and you'll need more liquid. So I'm putting in 1/3 of a cup. And I'm also adding some shredded carrots, 1/2 a cup, to make it taste better. And I'm going to add a little more liquid when I see how this mixes up. Okay, so I'm mixing it up now. This is what it looks like. If you didn't want to use nuts, you could also use raisins, or you could have used crushed pineapple. That's the other solution. So I'm just beating this up by hand very, very rigorously. You don't really need an electric mixer. It's coming together quite nicely, actually. But you do have to do it vigorously. So I'm doing it as vigorously as my arms and hands will allow. And it says to do it for at least 2 to 3 minutes, so I'm not quite there yet. So that was shredded carrots, and you can shred your own or you can buy them already shredded. Doesn't really matter. It's smelling good. Vigorously. Getting a good arm workout here. So this cake is actually a dairy cake because it's got cream cheese icing with it. It is kosher, but it's kosher dairy, meaning UD. So if I wanted, I could have also put regular milk in too a little bit if I wanted. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. And I don't know, it's looking pretty good. I'll show you in a sec. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. How's that, guys? But what I'm going to do, just to give it some more authentic taste, is I'm grabbing a teaspoon, another teaspoon here, and I'm just going to put a drop of extract, vanilla extract in to give it a little taste. A little better taste. Make it taste like maybe 1/2 teaspoon in. I want it to taste like homemade, you know, like really homemade, like bakery style. And I'm going to take a pinch of cinnamon as well. Just a pinch, probably no more than, again, 1/2 teaspoon. This much. Put a little in. And then I'm going to throw in a tad bit of nutmeg. Also not too much, about 1/2 teaspoon. I really want it to have that taste like spice cake almost. But, you know, it's carrot cake, so I just think it would taste good. So I'm putting it in. I'm going to stir again. Vigorously till it's all together. I'm using a beater, but it's not an electric beater, it's just by hand. Give it a good stir again. Okay. I'm going to taste a little bit, so make sure it tastes good. Tastes great. Okay, so there we go. There's our cake. And again, I'm doctoring it up. I'm making it taste better, more like homemade. Okay, now I have to distribute this batter into the cake pans and bake it up. And we're gonna read together how long I should bake it for. Bake. Okay, so it says bake on 350 for how long? It doesn't tell me how long. It's got to tell me how long. In French, so that's not going to help me. 2 minutes. It says do it 2 minutes vigorously. I'm going to do it a little bit more, but it doesn't tell me how long to bake it for. Round, 2 rounds, 8-inch rounds. Oh, 31 minutes, okay? 26 to 31 minutes, depending on your oven. So let me just give it one more go at it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think it's well mixed. Okay, all done. Just cleaning out my my hand beater, which is like this instead of my electric one. I don't think you need an electric one, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so now wipe my hands, dubious task. We're going to divide this into 2 so that we can bake it. Let me just clean up this a little bit. I just dropped my eggs, my eggshells rather. Clean this up. Out of the way. I'm giving it one more good mix. Okay, now the task with this big heavy bowl is going to be to divide it into my cake pan as evenly as possible. So that's going to be a bit of a task. All right, I'm up for it. Are you? All right, here's the batter all done in this huge big bowl. I'm going to try to get it out as evenly as possible. It's so heavy I can barely lift it. But the thing is, it came out good, thick. Looks pretty good. This is very, very heavy, this bowl, to get all this out. Bear with me, I'm getting it out. Funny thing is, when I was in university, I had my own apartment and I used to entertain a lot. And I used to bake these type of cakes all the time, but I haven't done it in years. God, this bowl is so heavy. Oh, God. I need a break. Whoa, it's so heavy. I don't know how anyone ever baked with this. I got a little more to get out. So I'll get it on here. I think this is the hardest part, getting this out and getting it even into the two pans. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to bake as best as that you can. If this is an easy way to do it, I don't see any shame. I think it tastes just as good as homemade in the end. I bet you if you put one that was homemade, fully homemade beside it, you would not be able to tell the difference. And I'm still trying to get the batter out because that's how big this bowl is, and it's so heavy. You get a good workout on your arms from this. Scraping it down. I don't recommend using a heavy ceramic bowl like this. It's just too heavy. I mean, it's a great bowl. It's big. It's good supposedly for baking, but it's so heavy you can barely hold it, especially when it's full. Okay, guys, that's the best I'm going to do out of this today. I think maybe one more scrape. Get this batter out. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. Trying to get it all out. Okay, that took a little longer than I wanted it to, but it is very difficult to get this out. This batter bowl is out of this bowl. It's really hard. It's too heavy. Okay, so I got it in, guys. Here's what it looks like. I got to distribute it, though, a little more evenly. So I just take it a little bit like that. And I'm going to mix it in here a little bit now to get it even into the cake pan so that it's, you know, level. We get two level layers of cake in each one. And I don't want it to be dry. So, you know, when you add the carrots and you add the nuts, it can make it dry. So I'm just making sure that it's not going to be dry by evenly spreading it out into these baking pans. Now remember, it's going to rise, so you want to leave room for that. Trying to get it so perfectly even. And well spread out, well evenly dispersed is what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, looks like I did a pretty good job. Okay, here's one. Here's the other. And we're going to cook 26 to 31 minutes. We're going to check and we're going to test with a toothpick in between to make sure it's actually done. Meaning if the toothpick comes out clean with no liquidy batter on it, it's done. And then it's time to cool it on the cooling racks. So that'll be the next step. And then I will be icing this tomorrow. So that's going to be another part 2 to this episode that I'll be icing it. And you won't want to miss it because I'm going to show you how to doctor up that icing too that comes out of the can, so that it doesn't taste so much like it comes out of the can, but rather like real cream cheese frosting with cinnamon. So we'll do that, and then we'll put the cake together. We'll assemble it with nuts and coconut for decor. So you'll stay tuned for that. That'll be coming. Okay, now time to put this into the oven to bake up. There's one. There's two. I'm going to watch it closely for 26 to 31 minutes. And come back because we're going to continue this. As I said, tomorrow we're going to do the icing part. It's really good to let the cake cool off and then put it in the fridge overnight on the racks. So it's really cool. It makes it much easier for icing. Otherwise, it'll can crumble apart. Hey, so that's the hack carrot cake. I want to know, did you try it? How did it go? Did you put the added stuff in that I told you to make it more like homemade? I told you had a choice of carrots. I use carrots and walnuts. You could have used pineapple. You could use raisins. You could put milk instead of the oil to doctor the recipe that they have on the instructions on the back. I don't follow this. I make it myself a little different so that it's a little bit more homemade tasting. And I want to know, did you serve it? Did anybody know that it was a hack from my cake mix? Or did they think it was like from scratch, fully from scratch? No judgment either way. I think it's just as good, but I want to hear what you have to say. And let me know in the comments below what else you want to see from me in the way of desserts. I know I mostly do appetizers, main dishes, and side dishes because that's sort of my forte. I'm not really a baker, but if you want to see me try some other hack type of baking, I'd be willing to try. So you let me know in the comments below and also how everything went. This is Janette Burke, your host, signing off for Cookin' with Janette. Bye for now.